Well, we are inching deeper into the MLB playoffs. Of course, the Rays are not in the playoffs, but we still have some interesting matchups to discuss and a lot more with a little Rays angle and tinge involved.
Just because the Rays are not in the playoffs does not mean that the playoffs are not existing. They are, and we've got some Rays news to talk about. So let's get started right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we're the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays, as well as all the other podcasting platforms. You can also find us on X and Instagram at Locked On Rays, and email us anytime. We keep having those mailbag questions, comments, concerns, hot takes. They are flowing along in our inbox, lockedonrays@gmail.com. Well, as we are recording this, the ALCS is underway between the Astros and Rangers, and then less than 24 hours later, we'll have the NLCS beginning between the Diamondbacks, believe it or not, and the Philadelphia Phillies. And we figured we would give our predictions and takes on both of these series. So let's get right into it. Before the Astros and Rangers game one concludes, Ulises, what is your prognostication of how you think this series will shake out? It is an interesting dynamic considering you have two in-state teams facing off against each other. So that definitely changes the component of travel and so forth in comparison to the Diamondbacks and Phillies series where you're going virtually cross country. Well, you are going cross country and spanning multiple time zones, where Astros Rangers, they could technically take a bus between both cities, or if they want to take a half-hour flight, they could do that as well.
Yeah, so that could already give you perhaps some intimation that, like, oh, perhaps the American League has a easier time in the World Series because they've been rested. They haven't been able to. They hadn't have to take those big long trips like either the Diamondbacks or the Phillies, whoever wins that series. Just want to show this so that you guys know that it is actually it's Texas 2, Houston Astros 0 in the middle of the seventh inning. So like we don't know the ending of this game, so anything can happen right now.
So the Astros offense is performing like the Rays offense in the play
for the first 7 innings of this ALCS. Look, I you know what? I feel like this is going to have to be taken into two different directions. The wants and the what's probably going to happen. The wants, I want the Diamondbacks to get to the World Series. Just have to want to long go all the way. That's 100% sure. On the other side, I want the Rangers to keep on winning so that I, as a Rays fan, don't feel bad that my team got swept, because then they can say, no, we lost at least to a juggernaut. If they win it, whatever, at least they got to the World Series. Like, we lost against one of the two best teams. So that would make me happy. Not happy. Let me edit that. That would make me less angry and sad about the Rays' demise. Now, what I think is going to happen is completely the opposite. I think the Astros are going to just show everybody why they've been such a great team in the last decade. And I mean, 7 ALCS in a row is not an easy feat whatsoever. Right. And I see the Phillies as just a team of studs. It's ridiculous. That lineup is MLB The Show type. Like, it's ridiculous what they've done there. And they look like the bright lights is when they just, that's what they're made of. It's all the cliches that you want to throw out that John Smoltz loves to say. It's kind of right.
You know, he has them written down on a sheet of paper, or he has them on his iPad and he just runs through them. It's kind of like a drinking game, or it's a little game within the game of How many
Ooh.
cliches can I throw out? Can I get to a dozen? Can I get to 15? Can I get to 20 before the game's over? Like he's just on a spreadsheet, going down a listing, if you will.
Do you think that there's a John Smoltz cliche drinking game that we could come up with?
If there's not, we should absolutely come up with that and trademark it before Talking Baseball or Tonkin Yanks gets to it first.
Yes. Monetize
It
that
could be
baby.
the new Immaculate Grid.
Yes. Okay. You heard it here first, folks. Okay. October 15th, 10:20 p.m. We're the ones that did it. So that's what I think. I think it's honestly going to be Astros Phillies, which is going to be kind of lame because we just had that last year. But I really want a Rangers Diamondbacks World Series where the Diamondbacks just shock the entire baseball world.
And I'm sure the powers that be do not want that series for the ratings impact and so forth. We have more to discuss on this, but first, Ulises, we have to tell the audience about something extremely, extremely, extremely important.
That is true. And maybe you're in Texas or maybe you're in Florida and maybe you just want to do something fun, right? And but it's happening right then and then and you're like, "Oh, I need tickets, but I don't know what to do." Well, guess what? Just go to Gametime, guys. Just download Gametime because they are the only ticketing app that gives you complete peace of mind with your purchase. You can see the view from the seat before you buy, so you know exactly what to expect when you arrive at said venue. I mean, you can find exclusive flash deals and sponsored deals on tickets for football, basketball, baseball, concerts, comedy, theater, and much, much more. So today, you can take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB. That's LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed.
So with the CSs going on right now, and I am not picking this just because the Rangers are ahead of the Astros in game one, but if they do hold off and beat the Astros in game one, that does give them a marked advantage because I saw an interesting stat where teams in the playoffs that win game one win that series 65% of the time. So the edge and the advantage would go to the Rangers.
Is that for LCSs or is that for any playoff series?
All best of 7 postseason series in MLB history. The winner of game one goes on to take the series 64.4% of the time.
Not bad. Not bad. But if there's a team that goes 0-1 in the playoffs that could win it, it'd be the Astros.
The Astros, yes. Yeah. Now, I will say this. The Rangers have added Max Scherzer and have added John Gray to their postseason roster. Clearly, they have not had any trouble up to this point sweeping the Rays and sweeping the Orioles. And I know that, like you mentioned, the Astros are on their 7th straight ALCS, which is just an amazing, amazing stat. It's Texas first since 2011. But couple numbers or a couple things that I think helps Texas, the Rangers, that is, in this series. Houston is the only playoff team to have a record below 500 at home this season. And, some of the offensive numbers that the Rangers have put up is kind of historic, just outscoring their playoff opponents in the amount of extra base hits that they've had through their first handful of games. I mean, you're talking about numbers that haven't been seen since the 1999 Red Sox. And furthermore, yes, the Astros have the experience factor and the been there, done that factor on their side. And they've actually won 9 of 13 head-to-head matchups this season. But I look at it and, if you're a Rays fan, you have seen most, if not all of these guys and what they can do and what they mean to get it done over the course of the regular season and into the playoffs. Corey Seager, Max Scherzer, Nate Eovaldi, Bruce Bochy. I think those are four, just, four very important cogs among many others on the Rangers right now.
I understand where you're coming from. I said that I wanted the Rangers to go ahead and win it. But to the
also
point
feeling
that,
better as a Rays fan, knowing that it's the Rangers that are rolling through and mowing through the competition to get all the way to the World Series.
But the point of look at how much they're outscoring their opponents. Okay, but who were their opponents? The Baltimore Orioles, who were young kids, brightest lights they ever faced, and it just happened really quick for them. It happened really quick, and I don't think that's a good barometer. And we're talking about the Rays, who have not been a juggernaut of an offense for the last two straight playoff appearances. So
I know, but we're not talking about the Royals and the Athletics here. We're talking about two teams that, had two of the best records in all of baseball.
Yes. And they did not play like that at all. I mean, look, good job for the Rangers for doing that. I just if they had beaten a good Rays offensive team, then I would say that. But the Rays offense was just as politically correct as you can be, was doo-doo.
Yeah, it was doo-doo. That's a good way to put it. It was they had doo-doo all over themselves.
Yeah, I mean,
it was on their hands, it was on their face. It was a bad look for sure. It was like you tipped over a porta potty on the entire lineup one by one. That's basically what you had. You
go into your house and you're like, what's that smell? And then it's the shoes. Gosh.
It's the Rays. That's what that smell is.
It's the offense in the playoffs.
How about this? Yeah. Okay. If the Astros Rangers series gets to a game 7, who would win?
Who's starting for each team?
I have no idea. I'm just thinking that this is something that's been put out there. If the Rangers battle and claw and fight to get to a game 7, that momentum would be on their side, because I think everybody is expecting the Astros to win the dang thing.
I just think it would be silly for us as baseball fans to bet against the Astros until the Astros prove they can do it. And they have not done that yet. So for me, I would not bet against them. I want them to lose.
Yeah.
Very badly. But I don't feel like that's a smart green Skittles move, is to be like, oh yeah, I'm going all Rangers. No, honestly, they could be 0-3 and facing elimination. I'd be like, who could get out of this right now? The Houston Astros, because they almost did against the Rays in 2020, folks. Remember that?
That's true.
The Rays were just smooth 3-0, and then it went to 3-3, and then they had to go to game 7. So
that was such a crazy series.
That was such a crazy series. Oh man, such a fantastic.
Yeah, if you're looking for something to watch, if you don't want to watch the NFL, if you don't want to watch college football, if you don't want to watch the current iteration of MLB playoffs, just try to find some highlights or some game archives of the Rays 2020 postseason run, namely the series against the Astros.
God, and they responded, man. And Randy Arozarena was just killing it.
Yeah.
So fun. But yeah, no, that's what I would go. So I'm guessing you're thinking Rangers from your AL argument.
I'm going with the Rangers. And as far as the Diamondbacks and Phillies, well, you mentioned green Skittles, so I figure that's a good segue into something else. As you all should know, October baseball is back, certainly, and you can make your postseason debut with FanDuel, which is undoubtedly America's #1 sportsbook. Join FanDuel today, and you'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. So just visit FanDuel.com/LockedOn, LOCKEDON, to create your new account. Then you can get in on the action from the first pitch until the final out. Bet on everything from strikeouts to home runs to who will win the game. And if you don't want to wait the whole game to get a W, well, all you have to do is predict what will happen in the next at bat with a really cool feature called Quick Bets. So head on over to FanDuel.com/LockedOn, LOCKEDON. right now. Step up to the plate this postseason with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed. Make every moment more with FanDuel. They are the official sports betting partner of Major League Baseball, and they have a really cool logo, as you can see if you're watching on the YouTubes there as well. So I have Rangers advancing. Diamondbacks, Phillies, as much as I would love to see the Snakes go to the World Series and win the World Series and get Evan Longoria that ring he's been waiting 15 years, basically, exactly, for at this point. I think the magic is on the Philly side, at least to get to the World Series. I heard somebody say this, or I read it somewhere, that Rob Thompson, the manager of the Phillies, couldn't push a wrong button or make a wrong move if he tried, because this is just everybody is on. The magic is with them, and I think they are emboldened after taking down the Atlanta Braves and Arcia picking on Bryce Harper. Like, if there's something we learned, don't give Bryce Harper or the Phillies any bulletin board material whatsoever. But I think what's going to really hurt the Diamondbacks is going into Citizens Bank Park and making a statement, because there are rough, difficult, challenging road environments, and then there's Philadelphia.
The bank.
And I think that could be a very deafening and intimidating moment and atmosphere for them that I don't know if maybe they're prepared for it, but they're not going to realize it, and it's just going to be overwhelming.
The young guys they have never played
Philly,
that.
maybe, but it's going to be tough.
No, yeah, the young guys from the Diamondbacks have never played in that environment. Longo has, Tommy Pham has, and that's great. But maybe that's where leadership comes in, right? Telling them, hey, what to expect, and what to do, what not to do. But I just feel like the Phillies are just like I said, that another John Smoltz cliche, team of destiny. Right. And everything they're doing is great. And just let's have like a 90-second parentheses here on my view on Bryce Harper. I thought he was a cocky player. I didn't really like him in the beginning with the Nats. I thought he thought of himself too much. He was very talented. He was very good, but I just kind of thought, like that's not for him. That's not for me. His attitude. Now, ever since he got to Philadelphia and all of the big moments that he has had and how he handled the fact that when he left the Nationals, then they won it without him. How he handled that in those questions, and then his growth as a mature player, as a veteran player, and keeps putting up numbers, and how he comes back from injury, and how he faces the Philly media, and how he has embraced Philadelphia as his town, and all of the things that he says. Like, I've done a complete 180 on Bryce Harper. I'm a Bryce Harper fan. That guy is awesome. That guy he is incredible, not only on the field, but what comes out of his mouth about the team that he's representing. That's all you could ask for as a fan, is for this guy, that superstar that you're giving millions to, and now seems like such a cheap contract. Now that we look at it, just that's all you'd want, is for him to just embrace your city and to show that he cares, and to play with that hustle, and to play with that dynamic, vibrating feeling. And I've done a complete 180 on him. He is fantastic. I would never root against Bryce Harper unless I absolutely had to.
No, I'm with you there. And I think one thing that probably has changed your opinion of him is him maturing a little bit. It's one thing to have incredible success at 20, 21, 22 years old, and then you're now 30 years old. I mean, you can change a lot in that span and in that time frame. And Philadelphia certainly loves them some Bryce Harper, just like they love them some Jason Kelce. They love them some Bryce Harper. They love them some Kyle Schwarber. They love them some Trey Turner, Nick Castellanos. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. But yeah, I think that what the Phillies have going on right now, combined with that lineup of theirs, the 1-2 punch of Zach Wheeler and Aaron Nola, and then a lights out bullpen where you've got, former Ray, Jose Alvarado, among others that, all they do is throw, 97, 98, 99. It's a tough cookie to contend with. And another little interesting stat as I was doing some research here as far as the Philly home field advantage. The Phillies are 10-2 with a plus 40 run differential at home over the past 2 postseasons. That includes going 9-0 with a plus 39 run differential in all pre-World Series rounds. So the Diamondbacks are going to have their hands full for sure. So my call right now is Philadelphia versus the Rangers in the World Series. Now, kind of segueing from that, I know we were supposed to talk a little bit about Randy Arozarena and Wander Franco, but I saw this and doing some reading and figured, well, it's timely anyway. Trivia question for you, Ulises.
Mm-hmm.
How many teams in Major League Baseball have yet to win a World Series?
Rangers, Rays, Rockies, Brewers. Have the Padres won it? No, I don't think the Padres have won it. Padres. And I'm missing one. I think it's 6.
You are absolutely correct. It is 6. And the team that you're missing is the Mariners. So my next question, my next follow-up is, by the time the Rays began play in their new stadium in 2028, right? Opening day 2028, is that what we're looking at?
Opening
Publix Park. Publix Park 2028, the $1.3 million boondoggle that is going to cost taxpayers much more than what was anticipated and originally written about, I should say. Will they, not can they, of course they can. I imagine they're going to win at least 90 games in each of the next 24, 25, 26, 3 seasons at least. Will they win a World Series by the time they open up in that spanking new $1 billion+ ballpark?
Yes. It just has to happen. 5 in a row, playoff appearances. If it's like, oh, it's a crapshoot, the playoffs, which they're kind of right. They're not completely right. The people that say that it's complete Astros. It's not completely right. It has some merit that it's a crapshoot. It's not the absolute.
But I mean,
truth.
if you go there, if you make the playoffs and get to the championship series 7 years in a row, at least you would think at least one of those times you would win the whole dang thing. So you're getting yourself enough bites of the apple. Eventually, one has to fall in your lap.
And that's my argument. If they've done it 5, they haven't gone yet, except for one time to the World Series. I think it's going to happen. The team has a good core, good young players coming up. I'm going to say yes.
Okay, I like it. And I hope so as well. On that list, I guess it would be really the best teams that have a chance to do that. Certainly the Rangers this year and maybe in future years as well. The Brewers and the Mariners. I mean, I don't think the Rockies are going to make a run anytime soon. The Padres still have some things to work out as well.
I guarantee you, though, when the Rays win that World Series ring, there will probably be more Rays players be mentioned in songs. I can tell you that.
That would be nice. Yeah. We know Randy is one of those, which is pretty cool. I don't know much about Bad Bunny. I just know he's a big deal. I don't think I've listened or ever listened to a Bad Bunny song unless it's by mistake, but if you've reached big time heights when you're getting shout outs in a Big Bunny song. I can't even pronounce his name right or know his name. But I think it's a great thing for, I would hope that the Rays, definitely Randy's team, but the Rays would be able to capitalize and leverage that in some shape or form. In fact, I think Randy's going to have a concert in Mexico, or is hosting some sort of event that's going to bring some big name musical acts in the Latin American space.
It's called Randy
on
Fest.
November 4th. What's that?
Randy Fest is going to be called
Randy Fest. See, they need to have a Randy Fest at Tropicana Field. Make that happen. Don't just have it at Poliforum, Zamna Arena in Merida, Mexico.
I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. That's exactly what they should be doing. Let's do Randy Fest at Tropicana Field, and that would be great to just get more people involved in baseball, and maybe like people that are into music and knowing that, this music artist is going to be at Tropicana Field. Oh, I've never been here before. Oh, maybe we should go to a game here because I've never been. It's the thing to do. I think that's a fantastic idea. So shout out to Randy Arozarena for getting a shout out himself on a Bad Bunny track. Like you, Bad Bunny, for me, I will only listen to it when it comes up on a club or on somebody's car, or I've never no, I lied. A couple of times I have, but not really on my top 300 artists.
But
plus,
I mean, it seems like when I go to a ball game, it seems like somebody is wearing some sort of hat or sweatshirt or legging that has like some sort of Bad Bunny ode or homage or logo. Like he's taking the
huge,
music world to some extent by storm.
And good for him. I mean, people that like his music, awesome. I don't particularly like it unless I've had a lot of tasty adult beverages, and then I can be like, okay, I can be down with this. But
you have enough drinks and the music sounds good.
If you have enough drinks, a
lot of things can look or seem good to you.
Yes, exactly. Things you learn with life.
When you turn 21, you'll understand that a little bit.
That's right.
But no, I think that, which, by the way, with the Randy Fest thing, there's a description here. And don't make fun of me for my lack of...
No, buddy, just do your best.
Okay. Mi gente los invito a Randy Fest el 23rd de noviembre. Los espero ali para pasarla juntos en una gran noche. I'm going to try to convert that to English. My people, I'm inviting you to Randy Fest on the 23rd of November. It's going to be a big game and a grand night. That's all I got.
Very nice. Very nicely done. Allí, not Ali, allí, which is allí. There.
That's right. My Spanish teacher would kill me for
that. No, that's great. No, that's really cool that Randy's doing this. And by the way, Kevin, we only care about effort. Everybody in the world should only care about effort, and you gave it your best effort. No, that's awesome. Good for Randy. We were about to talk about Wander and DR. But really, I mean, it's a non-story. So if you have like a couple minutes here, we can kind of kill that story. It's a non-story. He's not going to be playing in the Dominican Republic unless there's clarity on where his situation, his legal situation is. So it was supposed to be a big thing, like, oh, he's going to play in DR, and then the general manager said, no. That's
kind of an underling said, yeah, we'll welcome in and we'll welcome him with open arms, and then the higher ups were like, no, we want to let this thing play out. We don't want to overstep our boundaries, especially considering that the investigation is going on in the Dominican Republic. So that could create a lot of issues in more ways than one. So I think we can just leave it at that with Wander, and hopefully I would assume that there will be some clarity in that situation over the course of the offseason, so that the Rays and the fans and everybody else can know, is he going to be available opening day? Is he going to be available at some point in 2024 or beyond? Like that's the big question going forward with him. As far as Randy, better things for Randy right now than Wander. That Randy's getting mentioned in Bad Bunny songs, and that Bad Bunny, Mark Topkin actually wrote about this, that he recently launched a sports agency focusing on Latin American athletes. So maybe that could be an angle for Randy going forward. I know that he had switched from one agency to Scott Boras back in 2021, but maybe that's the impetus for something even larger, better for Randy. But at the very least, getting his name out there's a big thing.
I'm gonna have to talk to I'm gonna have my people contact Bad Bunny's people for we got some legal issues.
Yeah, just shoot him a text. We have Bad Bunny's number. We have Stu Sternberg's number. We have Kevin Cash's number.
We do.
Peter Bendix's number, Eric Neander's number, Wade Boggs' number. I could keep going here, but if we need to get in contact with somebody, we can get in contact with somebody.
I'm gonna get in contact with them and just, hey, are you stealing ideas from me, Bad Bunny? Because it seems like you are, bud.
Hey, Mr. Bad ... I have some news for you.
Mr. Bunny. Dear Mr.
Bunny.
You've been bad. You've been bad. Yeah. All right. That was fun.
Question.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So every once in a while we'll have some musical connections for the Locked On Rays podcast. Bad Bunny to Carl Crawford and what he's doing in the hip hop rap game. There's a lot there. So anyway, hope you all have a wonderful day and enjoy the rest of the playoffs. We'll be talking about that more over the course of the next couple weeks, and we'll also talk to you tomorrow. Have a good one.